As lockdown eases throughout the world, many sports are now returning to training, and in particular for football, certain leagues have recommenced and full contact training is in place for most countries. Physical demands placed on athletes have been elevated and accelerated in order to complete the delayed season as quickly as possible. Therefore, I wanted to quickly explore how we can best support our athletes nutritionally through this period and how Colour Fit can help with these aims. Carbohydrates are going to be key during this period, both as the dominant fuel source for high intensity intermittent exercise and to facilitate coordination and decision making by its effects on the brain. Studies show that during busy fixtures, players perform far more high intensity running compared to one match weeks, and injuries tend to increase significantly. So, carbs are going to play an even greater role in performance and injury prevention. So there's a number of ways that we can use ColourFit to find suitable carbohydrate or fuel-based meals. So the simplest way is to start with our meal library of over 400 different meals. And straight away we get the ColourFit plates. So when you're scrolling through any meal, we're looking for ones that have a majority of green within the ColourFit plate, which represents carbohydrates. We also have a number of filters that enable you to find meals really quickly as well. So for fuel, we want to go to overall performance, click on fuel and performance and exercise. And here it's going to filter ones that are predominantly green, or if they're not predominantly green, they're still going to have a good amount of carbohydrates in that choice. There's the other means that you can do it by. So you can also go to food goals and select fuel, which again will just load up ones that are predominantly green. And then you might also look at calorie density. So during busy fixtures, we're going to be looking for around upwards of 3.5, 4,000 calories per day. So we're mainly dealing with high calorie and high carb options. So we know the canteens are currently shut, which means the players are fending for themselves a lot more in regards to nutrition. A lot of clubs, though, are providing post-training nutrition, so high carbohydrate takeaway options. But that leaves breakfast where most players are having to fend themselves and making sure they're getting prepped for the day's training or game. So we filtered here breakfast and fueling for performance. And as you'll see, there's an absolute wealth of options, suitable options available for them here. And there's lots of them based around oats, around overnight oats, around pancakes, parfaits, toast, smoothies, and the likes. There's numerous options. So there's lots of variety for them to choose from, and the visual element makes them far more appetizing to the eye. Many of those options I just mentioned for breakfast are featured in our meal builder section. So we have things like our smoothies, our parfaits, and my go-to is overnight oats when it comes to breakfast because we can make these the night before and they're just ridiculously simple. And if we have a bit of invention, we can easily add good sources of protein, good sources of health in there. So it's a balanced meal, but it's going to supercharge us in terms of fuel for the day. With all the busy fixtures and being on the road so much, players will also require the convenience of being able to purchase their meals. So we can do that with the system. We can go down to purchase, and then we're obviously interested in meals at the moment that are going to fuel us. We may also choose the element of recovery for when we're coming back on bus, and then we're going to be left with an abundance of choices. And you've got the peace of mind that all these meals are going to be informed sport protected in terms of any supplement use within them, and the range is absolutely delicious as well. Finally, to check the sufficiency of the diet, we've got our own food diary. So here you can check on, it's important to check on the overall calories and overall carbs, particularly when it's coming to match day. We've got over 200,000 food items on our database. We've got all the major ergogenics covered in there. And we allow integration with a nominated person to come on and use it as a meal planner as well, be it a nutritionist or an assigned S&C person. So they, as well as can check in adherence and suitability, can also use it as a meal planner with so many degrees of freedom.